Men or women that have had sex with a man with an abnormally large or abnormally small penis. What was the experience like? Dude had a literal cone-shaped penis. Too big at the base and too small at the tip. The experience looking back was the worst. I was young and naive. Like trying to have sex with an upside down ice cream cone. I have never had this conversation before. I've had sex with a guy with that shape too. I don't remember the sex so much as the shape. This is over 10 years ago, mind you. He was on the larger side, 7ish I would say. But the shape isn't something I've seen again, even in porn. I don't even understand how that's a thing, lol. Abnormally large fellow dislodged my IUD, was temporarily crippled by the pain and had to go to the DRs to make sure it hadn't perforated my uterus. Wasn't exactly what I'd describe as fun. I have an IUD and this is terrifying. I'm not even that long and I've hit my wife's a couple times. Gotta be careful. Me and my wife stopped having sex for a few months after I cut the hell out of my head on her zits. I'm not super big, but she's quite shallow. And we stopped to wait the safe time between getting it removed and the shot kicking in. For all the little peepees out there, just remember, a tic tac still hurts at 50 miles per hour. It's like getting hit by a bee while on a motorcycle. Reddit. God damn it, I cannot believe I forgot to use my main account. I lost my virginity to someone with a 9ish incher. He was the epitome of having a big dick doesn't make you good in bed. Didn't try to turn me on. Didn't do anything but jackhammer until he finished. Couldn't even find my clit the one time he ever tried. All I really remember about that sex is the overwhelming, displeasurable pain of having him punch my cervix with his schlong. I had a boyfriend like that. I used to joke that I felt like my uterus was a speedball after he was done. Useless bugger had the nerve to complain about an ex that only liked one position. This one had about 3 and didn't dine at the Y. Didn't dine at the Y. At first I didn't get it, but then I thought I got it. Yeah, her problem was she never got it. I've never been one to care about size. My ex was on the way smaller side, but that wasn't his downfall. He refused to listen to what I wanted and thought he was a sex god. Any suggestions about what I wanted were met with anger and arrogance. My fiance now is one of the biggest I've ever been with. We have to be super careful in certain positions or he'll hurt me. Luckily for me, he listens to what I like and takes it easy on me. He used his size as a reason to not really try in bed. He never gave me opportunity to warm up, and even though I thoroughly enjoy super rough sex, he just thought ramming it into me over and over was the way to go. Lack of warm up and him just thrusting hard like no tomorrow left me sore and angry. Not the good kind of sore, either. My cervix hated me when I was with him. He used his size as a reason to not really try in bed. I've found that the larger a guy is, the less work he thinks he has to put in. But I've also had the reverse happen where a guy with a small dick was trying way too hard to make up for what he was lacking. His words. The dude would not stop touching my clit or tits, and usually that's not a bad thing. But damn dude. Too much. Seems like the same problem just expressed in different ways. Neither wants to actually listen to their partner and instead wants to be perceived as some sort of sexual expert who intuitively knows what their partner wants more than the actual partner. A lot of guys feel like they need to be good at sex. As a guy, I think this is because a lot of us are afraid that if we're not good at sex we can't get more of it because she'll be uninterested to have it with us. Honestly, so much can be avoided by talking like normal people. Honestly, so much can be avoided by talking like normal people. If Reddit has taught us anything, it is that normal people don't talk. During sex it felt great, I guess because of the adrenaline, but afterwards I was doubled over in pain. It felt like my cervix had been drop kicked by Chuck Norris. I've been there. The pain the next day, ugh. Chuck Norris drop kicked me too.
Drop kicked.
We had to stop after 10 minutes. Small as in you couldn't come, or big as in I'll flip out. He was breaking my cervix. Death by Unsons. Techno music. Above average can be absolutely incredible, especially in certain positions. That is until your cervix gets hit. I have my donut. It's a rubber ring, not a winky ring. The size of a donut that goes around my winky at the base and acts as a bumper so I can go to town without the cervix bashing. That is actually genius. You are a considerate big dick man. I thought you said you are considerate big dick man like it was his mother frigging superhero name. Edit of CHT Rofsknat. Oh, Mr. Big Dick Man. Can you get my cat down from this tree safely? Not to worry. I know how to handle a pussy. Stop this. Big Dick Man. Those kids are stuck in a giant pile of manure. I'll disturb their shit right away. Had an experience with a guy with a small weird one. Imagine a small pill bottle with a golf ball on top. This was his equipment, short and thin with a monster head. It wasn't bad, but when he pulled out it made a sound, not unlike uncorking a bottle of champagne. Had sex with a big dick guy. It was simultaneously the most boring and painful sex of my life. He wasn't a big dude, so the blood it took to power this thing left him dizzy. He pretty much just laid there while I tried to figure out how to fit this terrifying doom cannon into my body. I gave up after about 10 minutes, then he cried. Also had sex with a small dick guy. I could only feel it in certain positions, and he was very sensitive about his performance, so he didn't take suggestions well. We didn't last long. He wasn't a big dude, so the blood it took to power this thing left him dizzy. This seriously made me lol. Had a couple hookups with a guy whose dick was about the same size as my index finger. We only did blowjobs, but holy crap. It was like someone trying to make me throw up by sticking their finger down my throat. Well, at least his spontaneous boners didn't matter during his teenage years. It would just look like he was always carrying a baby carrot in his pocket for snacks. Sadly, it wasn't a snack used very many times. I have had both. The large one never learned that a majority of the population do not like getting harpooned like a dolphin within a few seconds. Like, go slow and use lube if you have to. Lube isn't just for anal. I can take a decent amount, but when they hit my cervix so I have to tap out for a bit. I'm a big woman, so the small one I felt only grinding against my clit. Didn't feel the penetration, but he was persistent and lasted a lot longer than the bigger guys. Also, he gave me more attention and pulled out toys and all kinds of fun stuff, whereas the bigger guys were all about instant gratification and skipped foreplay. In the end, size doesn't matter to me. Was with a smaller dude. Like others here have said, felt nothing. Pretty sure most of the action was him grinding against my inner thigh. We were young, and didn't really know what else to do outside of just basic sex. Nowadays I would ask for more attention, because regardless of size, you can still have good times if there's other foreplay and fulfillment involved. And I would assume most men go crazy at the thought of a woman giving them more info about what they want so the good times can roll for both parties. He was a good dude and an attentive boyfriend. We broke up due to being long distance. I don't regret it, and I'd never make fun of a guy for the size of their sklong. It's not the dick that makes the man. It's the willingness to be an open and loving partner. Reddit. A few people have asked. It was really small, bordering on micro. So trust me when I say I mean what I said above. In all other aspects the guy was funny, caring, and great to be around. We stayed together for a good while, and did only break up because there were more than a few states between us, and when you're that young you don't really have the money to travel very often. This was a very, very long time ago as well. I'm talking like 14-15 years. I am very old, in Reddit ages, I guess. Middle-aged is the new 80, right? And to the rest who say I'm probably lying and it would be boring to not have full-on P+V sex, that's your opinion and experience. Mine is different. You're welcome to your beliefs, but don't try to insert them directly into my head. The only one in my head is me, as far as I know. And the only one who has had my particular life experiences is me, as well. Which is how I came to be who I am at this point. People always act like there's some kind of shame in using toys and stuff during regular sex. There's not. Sex stores wouldn't stay open if it wasn't fun to use them. Just saying. It's not the dick that makes the man. It's the willingness to be an open and loving partner. I want that on my tombstone. This sounds like a strange invitation. I was with a guy who wasn't that well endowed. We were fooling around and he asked for a hand job. I went to put my hand around and found that my hand was larger than his fully erect penis. Similar to many others, couldn't feel it when he put it in either. Oh geez, reminds me of the first time I fooled around with an OX. We were getting hot and heavy on the couch, lights off, and I'm feeling around for his dick but can't find it. My hand searching around like a cartoon character searching for their dropped glasses. And the 1 or 2 times he topped me, I really didn't feel much. It wasn't bad, I just didn't feel anything. Lol. Velma? Is that you? It's me, Shaggy, over here. Jinkies. Is it in yet? Had to tell him to stop about halfway in. Not fun when terrified of injury. We were in our 20s, he was a smoking hot virgin. He met a woman who could enjoy all he had to offer, 26 centimeters, not long after our attempt, and FB says they are still together over a decade later. I don't even know if what we did qualifies as sex. He looked at me with a terrified "are you okay" look on his face and was met with my freaked out expression. Fun to look at, scary to experience. 10 freaking inches, holy crap. They called him tripod in high school. At 8 inches, it was definitely more painful than pleasurable. Length or girth the problem? Both. The girth made it uncomfortable, and I think the length made him conscious that he couldn't just go to town with a thrusting. Never thought it like that. Good thing I need a microscope to see mine. Rev it up to 6,000 revolutions per minute. Is everyone measuring from the same spot? From the asshole to a couple inches in front? Edit. Thanks for my first gold. I have to give credit where it's due. I thought I heard this first from George Collin. As stated, it is Adam Carolla, also a fantastic comedian. Love a line. Is there another way to measure it? The butt cheek to the front. I was with a dude who had a peen like a large deodorant can. One night we were doing the dance of the beast with 2 backs, and he must have bashed my cervix 1 time too many and I began to faint. I realized what was happening and tried to make it to the bathroom, not sure why. I thought I'd been pretty speedy, but turns out he had to shepherd me along the 5-meter corridor because I was all over the place, literally bouncing off the walls. I didn't even know he'd followed me. My roommate came out of her room to find me completely naked, passed out on the toilet with my panicking boyfriend trying to bring me round, at about 1 AM. I eventually came round and kept frantically asking him to bring me my slip. He didn't understand. Bring me my slip. My slip. I was frantically trying to cover my bits and bobs with my hands to maintain some level of dignity. I wanted my nightie and had never called it my slip in all my days. I was so confused. The end. Happy face. Dicked so hard that you jumped 50 years into the future and started using old lady words. I love this. Thank you. I will refer to my regular gross pajamas as my slip from now on to feel fancy and Victorian. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked the video, do the thing with the button. If you want more videos every day, be sure to subscribe to okpjdark. I hope you learned how to better operate the penis in your life. Remember to be kind to any cervixes and sphincters involved. Remember to communicate and be kind to each other. See you soon.